Yo! Kaido, Kaido, dreaming. Don't give it up, Lupe. Dreaming. Don't give it up, Solo. Dreaming. Don't give it up, Nave.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about my first place deck that I took to my locals last night and went undefeated. It was super fun, and I just want to talk about it with you. Obviously, we are playing KAIDO. I've been having a lot of fun playing KAIDO, just playing big bodies that blow up everything, and it's just, the deck has a lot of really fun cards. And we're gonna go over that. Obviously, we know what KAIDO does. He swings in for 5k, drops 7 Dawn to crit a life. Comes very handy when you're trying to go for that last little swing. But I feel like most people know what KAIDO, how KAIDO decks run. Obviously, a lot of the time they run the same cards. But I just want to go over my build that I had a lot of fun with. First and foremost, 4 islands, because if you're not running this card, you don't see this card, you're probably not going to win. This card is essential to KAIDO. That 1 extra Dawn per turn just really makes the deck. Excuse me. Now, if you don't see your island, which does happen a lot because you're running a 50 card deck and only 4 copies of that card, I run 4 copies of Jack. Essentially, you play this card on your turn 3 if you don't see your island. Trash a card in your hand that you really don't need to ramp 1. You really need to start ramping as soon as possible. Later on, this card really doesn't matter too much, but in early game, it absolutely does. So, ran 4 of those. Now for the blockers, I run 4 of the Kurazumi, Kurazumi, and 2 Black Marias. I get this all to fit in the screen here, because I think obviously you want to run some blockers in here for early defense or late defense. I only run, let's see here. Oh, what am I doing? I almost forgot the other blockers. 4 copies of Queen, so 4 Kurazumi, 2 Black Marias, and 4 of the Queens. Obviously, these are chump blockers that you're gonna throw down if you just need to survive an extra turn or so. And then this Queen is the main blocker. You want to play it to draw 2, trash 1. You can get rid of an extra island in your hand, or maybe even a Jack you don't need, or any of your big dudes early on that you really don't need, because you want to see other cards. I had no problem with this. I saw them when I needed to, and yeah, they come in clutch, especially with some other big hitters. Mostly red, just for those fast attacks. Now for defensive, you can play Sasaki also on turn 3, set up for turn 4 if you don't see your island, because it also lets you ramp Dawn by trashing a card in hand when attacking. But then I have the 4 copies of X-Drake and the 4 copies of Ulti. These are essentially all just going to be for 2k counters, so running 12 total helps you stay alive. X-Drake, you rarely will ever play for its ability. Sometimes it makes sense to. If your opponent has maybe 1 or 2 cards in hand, play that, gets rid of it, so you can swing in a lot easier. But having 12 2k counters in KAIDO really helps. 3 copies of Who's Who. I really like this card. I play it against my roommate all the time. He plays red primarily, so for some reason, this card always pops up when we play together, so it's just really fun. KOs 3 costs on play if it's triggered, or you can play it for 3, drop a Dawn, gets rid of Zoros, Nico Robbins. It's just anything low to the ground it gets rid of. Is a solid card. I would love to run 4, but room in this deck is so tight, it's hard to justify putting 4 in because it also has no counter. Now, of course, speaking of counters here, we got 4 copies of Blast Breath and 4 copies of Thunder Bagua. How I play this deck is you really don't want to start defending until you're at 2 or less life, depending on the game, of course. Because I cannot tell you how many times Thunder Bagua has come in handy, either in my hand or just as a trigger, where I can, if it's triggered, I get to play an extra Dawn. And if I have 2 or less life, this ability becomes way more useful. So I'll take the first couple hits, and then I'll play Thunder Bagua as a defense card, and I'll start charging up Dawn that way. Blast Breath is just fantastic. 1 cost, Trashadon, 4K counter power. It's that good. These are staples, I think. You need to run a full set of 4 in each deck, in each Kaido deck. And now, the big hitters, because that's what Kaido's all about. The big hitters. I run 1 copy of the 6-drop 7K. The fact that the only problem I have with Kaido's big hitters is that none of them have counter power. So if you put too many in the deck and you get bricked, then you're kind of SOL. So you don't want to put too many in, but you want to make sure you can see them. I run 1 of these because while I do like how it can KO it's 1 less than the 7-drop. It's one of the cheaper big bodies. It only KOs a 4 cost or less. I just feel like I'd rather pay 1 more just to get more effect out of it. For example, the 7-drop 7K, which you play for 7, trash 2 Dawn to get rid of 2 cards, a 3 cost or less and a 2 cost or less. This card decimates red, and it's just you need to see this against red or else you'll lose. And if you do see multiple of these against red Zoro, red Luffy, or Law, oh, it's beautiful. It helped me get my win last night. Plus 7K is that sweet spot. Next, I run 1 copy of the promo Kaido. It rarely gets to come out, but when it does, it helps so much. You play this for 8, and then next turn you play your 9-drop or your 10 cost, which, I run 2 of those. So then you drop your 5 to play that, and then you ramp 1 from your island, and then ramp 1 from this. You get your 2 back. So then you go from 10 or 9 down to 4, and you go back up to 6, and then next turn you go back up to 8. So you can play your 7 cost again. It's just, you want to ramp as much as possible, and I think having 1 of these, if you see it, is great. I wouldn't run more than 1. Obviously, you run 2 of the 10 costs because it blows up the whole board. But it's really hard to play this after you've got 2 or less life. So it's depending on my matchup, I won't go down to 2 life so quickly because you want to have at least 3. 3 is a safe spot for life to play this. Because then even if you take 2 damage from the next attack, from your opponent's next turn, it's just, you feel safe to swing in with this next turn, if that makes sense. The 9-drop is clutch. I was running 3 for a while, but I went back down to 2 because I just feel like, once again, no counter ability, counter power, it just makes it hard to justify running too many of the big costs. But when you play this, gets rush, KO something, it's just a solid card. But yeah, that's the deck profile. Like I said, I really am enjoying playing Kaido. It's been doing super well in my locals. I think my roommate took our last week locals with Kaido, similar build, but with a few differences. But that's the profile. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care.
Don't give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up.
Here's how the story goes. We find out by the treasure in the grand line. There's no doubt. The pirate whose eye is on it, he'll sing. I'll be king of the pirates. I'm gonna be king.
Kaido, Kaido, Kaido. Oh, oh. His name is Luffy.
That's Monkey D.
Gonna be
Luffy.
king.